All right, so today I'm so excited to be here with my dear friend, Tiffany Uman, fellow coach and entrepreneur, to share a little behind the scenes of what it takes to build a seven-figure business. So welcome, Tiffany.
Hey, Diana.
I'm so excited to be here. So I want to learn a little bit more. Tell us a little bit about when you started your business and why you started your business.
Yeah, so it started back in 2020, and it was at a point where I really wanted to do something bigger. I had spent the first chapter of my career in the consumer brand space. I absolutely loved my career and felt like the part I loved the most about it was really building and growing my teams to succeed really rapidly, just the way that I had done in my own career path. And that really sparked something in me to be able to do that on a bigger scale, impacting more people and teaching them ways that they can really accelerate their career on their terms without sacrificing their well-being in the process. And so that was really the light that really sparked it for me to get started and build it from the ground up.
Wow. And share us a little bit more about what were those initial challenges that you faced as a new entrepreneur and coach?
I mean, mindset was a huge one. Obviously, the self-doubt at the beginning of wondering, would this work? How would it work? Being able to delight and really deliver on my promise with clients was something that was very top of mind. And of course, keeping and creating my own lane for success and making it my own without getting overly influenced by what I saw in the coaching space at the time. So really working on finding my voice from a content creation standpoint, really building up my specific frameworks that have been proven to work across industries, but also doing it in a way that felt fun, that felt dynamic, and would bring the right people to me that can really understand what I was about and how I can serve them best.
What are some of the key lessons you learned to take from 0 to 6 figures of building a business?
I mean, a lot of it is betting on yourself and taking the chance to build what you want. So in our case, it was definitely around moving away from one-on-one to more of a group structured program in terms of our primary business driver from a revenue standpoint, being able to serve more people at the same time, but create that sense of community. And that was something that was really big of getting into more of that 6-figure mark. I'd say also being a little bit more systematic in having systems in place, but also processes that can really support, and already starting to really build what I wanted to be an eventual team structure that could extend beyond me. So that was kind of like the initial trickles as everything was starting to build into that particular phase of the business.
And what's your best advice for those who are looking to really scale their business to the 6-figure mark?
You gotta just go for it, and do not get discouraged if you feel like certain months or certain quarters are slower. If you are so dead set on your purpose of what you're here to do and how you are meant to serve people, let that be your North Star that keeps you from getting distracted, that allows you to remain focused, and focus on the levers in your business that are working best and double down on those. It actually doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need to have shiny object syndrome and feel like you have to do all the things and be on all the platforms and do everything that you see others do. You have to find your version of what that looks like and be very data-driven in that approach to tap into the things that work and work best and just dial that up to get you to that 6-figure mark.
That's amazing. What are those new challenges now that you need to deal with as a CEO of your business?
Yeah. I mean, you experience a lot of growing pains. It's only natural. One of the big shifts of going from this early stage 6-figure mark into a 7-figure business model is definitely becoming the CEO of your business and actually working on the business, not in the business. And I think as a career coach, and for anyone who's watching this who is a coach, I mean, we all really relate the fact that we love doing that kind of work. It's probably what's brought us into this space. And at one point you have to find that right balance of how do you do that, but also in a way that builds the machine that runs the machine. And so that was a huge turning point for me in our business around how do we do more of that? How do we work on the things that are going to help take us from, a 6-figure business into a 7-figure plus business that will deliver the results and the quality along the way? That was a big shift. I'd say the other big shift is really focusing on team building, because you can only do so much alone, and you come to realize the importance of having the right people in the right seats so that you can actually tap into what you do best. So it's all about finding that balance. One thing for us, Diana, that was really pivotal was, hiring our COO and having, Jeremy as our key operations officer that's really driving that. And I'd say maybe the last piece that's also really important is surrounding yourself with the right people. And I had the pleasure of being part of Diana's mastermind for 2 years in a row and just working with Diana. And, when you're surrounded by people who really level you up and help you see and dream of what's possible for you, you kind of become unstoppable. And I'm really grateful for those opportunities, because the growth that we had in our business from that first year of the mastermind into year 2, and then from year 2, even just a few short months later, has been really pivotal. And I can't emphasize that enough.
I want to say something that is really hit home for me, because I'm visiting you this weekend, the second time in the summer, is from our first meeting about 2 years ago, where we wrote down things that you want to achieve: building a 7-figure business, building a kick-ass team, having a world-class program. And it really meant a lot when you shared with me those Post-it notes this time around, and that this is what you created. And I really want to acknowledge that we have that moment to just dream big. And today we have a moment to even decide and talk about like
Oh
what it is
yeah,
that we want to do together and really champion each other, support one another there.
absolutely. I remember when I wrote down those post-its in like November of 2022, it was scary because I felt so far from that at that time, but I knew in my gut, I just knew that it was going to happen. It was just a question of when. And for that to have happened already last year, and now that we're just building on that with a lot of incredible momentum is really exciting. And obviously your support, Diana, means so much. You know, everything that you've been able to guide us on and really support us in, and being a great, you know, partner in all things business building. It's really exceptional.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And one of the things I want to share is a word of encouragement, right? There's so many things we can learn in business, right? It's about marketing and sales. Like those are things that we need to do, right, to continue to fine tune and improve. A big part is really going back to who do you surround yourself with to continue to up level your growth, see what's possible for you, and then our mindset of how do we see ourselves, or we see ourselves of how far we've come in the last several years, or how far we need to go still. Because that has a big shift on whether we're too hard on ourselves or not.
Yeah.
I think it's so important. I always talk about the importance of honoring ourselves, celebrating our wins, and giving time for that self-care to nourish ourselves. That will allow us to grow to the next level.
Yeah, I love that so much, Diana, because one thing also with auditing your circle, it's so important to make sure you have the right people, the right supporters, the right energy. Can't emphasize that enough either. And I would say even this year, when you talk about self-care and the importance that that can hold in how you grow your business, I mean, I've been prioritizing my health more than anything, you know, exercising more regularly than I ever have. And it's really helped us to have our best year yet, and we're only halfway through the year, and it's been really incredible to see I'm taking more time for myself and our family, and to see that benefit on the other end in terms of the clients that we are so fortunate to work with, and the way that the business is growing and the way that we are building our team just feels really in alignment.
Fill your cup first.
Fill your cup first.
Fill your cup
Hard
first.
to show up for others when your cup is half empty.